welcome to a Sunday edition episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Wow. I'm your host, Jay Smith. We're going to talk boxing, my peoples. What an interesting Saturday. Whoa. Damn, John Parent was in the building before I was in the building. Running a little late today, I see. That commentary wore your ass out, my peoples. Bro, I'm a little bit, right now, nimble. But you know what it is, my peoples. We got to talk boxing. We got to do it. Yesterday, all the championship historical action started with Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois, my peoples. Whoa. Make sure I got my other phone right here. The historic action started with Usyk and Dubois. What a fight. They were going at it. Usyk, just like in the first fight, was getting the better of Dubois. And in the fifth round, he landed a monster shot. It was a left hand. They were exchanging. And in that exchange, you saw Usyk, boom, land with a big left, slumped Dubois. And when you saw Dubois laying on the canvas, you knew he wasn't gonna get up. It was not just because it was a very hard shot, but he looked defeated. When he went down, boom, you could just see him like, that's it, he was cooked. There's no way that Dubois could get up from that shot and have any success. He would have got pummeled. So that was a good, he actually tried to get up, by the way. He tried to get up, couldn't make the count. By the time he got up, I think the ref was already at 10. So there you have it. Alexander Usyk proved that at this point we have to accept it. He's not just one of this era's greats or the best heavyweight of the... Remember, my peoples, I've been saying it. Usyk is the greatest heavyweight of this era. I've been saying it, my peoples. So now we have to talk about a historical reference. How good is he actually historically? I believe he's, an all-time great. At this point, that's it. We have to talk about all-time great heavyweights. You have to bring Usyk into that conversation. John Parham, damn good boxing last night. My brother, whoa. He didn't want no more smoke. Yeah, Dubois knew. He was hurt badly. So if he would have tried to make the count, either his legs wasn't going to be under him or he would have got pummeled badly. So it was a good decision to stay down as long as he did. He tried to make the count, he couldn't. That's cool. But what a fight, man. John Parham. What number is Usyk? Top 10 all time and top 5 as heavyweight all time? I got to think about it. Honestly, I got to think about it. I can't just blurt it out because we know, obviously, historically, there's been a lot of great heavyweights. But Usyk is up there. I say he's one of them. As far as the placing, I'll get back to you on that, my brother. I got to analyze some numbers, some stats, some opponents, all that kind of thing. But y'all see it, man. Alexander Usyk put together a spectacular performance to stop Daniel Dubois in the 5th round. Let's move on to the next historic performance. John Parham, one thing for sure, Fondora put pause on bro. We're getting to that right now, my guy. We're actually getting to that right now. So you guys who've been here know that I told you I was going to call Sebastian Fondora versus Tszyu. I told you I was going to call that fight. While I was setting up shop to call that fight, I noticed that Bam Rodriguez and Fumelala Kafu was going to fight too at the same time. And, I winged it. I didn't plan it. I didn't think it was going to be like that. In fact, during the live yesterday, I said, guys, I'm going to start calling the Bam Rodriguez fight because I knew it was going to be fireworks. And when Fondora versus Tszyu kicks off, I'm going to just stop calling this one and go to that one. But somehow, some way, I winged it and ended up calling both fights at the same time, my peoples. Bam Rodriguez versus Fumela Lakafu started first. That kicked off first. And right away in the first round, Bam walked him down and started letting his hands go. And Kafu was just fighting back right away. You saw, look, I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you guys like this right now. Fumela Lakafu, even though he lost, he's a very, very good fighter. Bam beat him because he's special. But Kafu is a guy who can fight. He was landing some good shots. Good shots on Bam Rodriguez. Counter punches. Setting them up in between shots. Fumela Lakafu was there to fight. He was making it real interesting. So Bam was edging out the rounds, but Kafu was letting his hands go and he was landing too. By the time they got to the third round, Tszyu and Sebastian Fondora took the dance floor. So now I'm calling Bam Rodriguez and Fumela Lakafu and Tszyu versus Sebastian Fondora at the same time. And my peoples, they were both going to war. Lefts and rights from Fondora. Bam Rodriguez left and rights to Kafu's melon. The action was insane on both sides. And they went at it. You know what? I don't remember if Fondora got stopped. If Tszyu got stopped, was it in the 7th round? You guys can correct me. And maybe Fumela Lakafu got stopped in the 9th round. But I called both fights all the way till the end, till they ended, till they both got stopped. Sebastian Fondora stopped Tszyu with some brutal shots. First of all, he dropped him in the first round. And that was a brutal knockdown. I don't know how Tszyu was able to survive. It was a whole minute to go in the round when that happened. And somehow, some way. And then, not only that, Tszyu was landing big bombs. Like, he was losing the rounds, but he was landing big bombs. And Fondora, you saw, for those who said that Fondora has a glass chin because he got stopped, take a look at yesterday's fight. Timmy was landing big, big bombs, missiles on Sebastian Fondora. And he couldn't move him. Couldn't do it. Couldn't wobble him. There was a time where he kind of pushed him back a little bit. But still, man, Fondora showed that he can take a shot. And the combination punching on the inside from Sebastian Fondora, the uppercut, that left uppercut was like a heat-seeking missile. But instead, a Tszyu face-seeking missile. Fondora was on point, letting them hands fly. Tszyu showed once again that he has heart, that he is a warrior. At this point, we will question, can he win the big fight? We will question it. I do believe in Tszyu, man. I don't wanna give up on him because I know that he is a warrior. I know that he got power. I know that he can change the outcome of a fight, with one punch. But he couldn't overcome Sebastian Fondora's. Ooh, John Parham, that 6'5", 80 reach is hard to work with. I agree with you 100%, my G. Fondora was just letting them hands fly from long distance. Even if you look at the images that's out there, which I'm going to show you guys some of them, but if you look at those images, Sebastian Fondora was letting them hands fly from long range, short range. They wasn't inside of a phone booth. They was inside of a powder keg. Whoa, my peoples. And then Bam Rodriguez and Fumela Lakafu? What? What? Yo, Rodriguez and Kafu, that was a barn burner, my people, from the first round until Bam got the stoppage. I'm not lying to you. The Hydro Grind, good morning, my peoples. Bam, John Parham. I would give it one more round because he was starting to land shots, but he was off a little in the corner. They probably asked him a few questions, saw him stuttering, looking funny. They was like, nah, you good, man. You about to get pummeled. Because I think that's what would have ended up happening. He was going to get pummeled out there. So I think it was a good stoppage. I said it during the live. I was like, yo, good stoppage. If you look at that fight, Tszyu took a lot of hard shots to the head, man. A lot. That's why sometimes being a warrior is dangerous. Because if it was another fighter, in that first round when they got knocked down like that brutally, by the second round, they would have got stopped. And that's it. Not took no more punishment. But Tszyu is so tough that he's gonna hang in there. You're not just gonna drop him and he's gonna lay down for you. He's gonna fight, he's gonna keep coming. Look, even when he's hurt, he's throwing punches. The one thing, look, I'm gonna tell you guys one Achilles heel that Tszyu has that he has to work on. I believe for him to get to that next level, he has to work on it. If he don't work on it, he's gonna stay at this point where we see him, you know, having some success and winning fights. But come on now, Tszyu hasn't been able to have that consistency that I'm sure he would like to have. And I'm gonna tell you something to consider. Give me a second. And if you missed the live yesterday, yo, you should tune in, my peoples. Go check it out so y'all can see, how someone actually calls two fights simultaneously. I want you to think about Tszyu and Sebastian Fondora, the way that this fight played out. Sebastian Fondora kept landing some big bombs. Hold on. I want you to think about it. In the first round, Fondora dropped Tszyu with a monster shot. Hurt him badly. When Timmy got up, you could see he did not have his legs under him. There was a whole first minute to go in the round. And somehow, some way, he survived. But throughout the fights, throughout the rounds, Timmy was taking a lot of big shots to the head. And he wouldn't go down. He wouldn't take a knee. So if you think about that fight, tell me I'm lying. Tszyu, in order for him to go to that next level, he also have to add clinch to his arsenal. Timmy doesn't clinch. He takes too many shots on the inside. And you see there's moments where he's getting hit and he's just kind of like this. Like, just getting hit and just going like that. Like, he has that instinct of just throwing punches when he's getting hit. Like, that's the instinct. That's where his instinct takes him to. But no, bro. If you hurt, boom, you take a big shot, you know you hurt. Yo, clinch, bro. Hold on for dear life. So that's one thing that is not part of Timmy's arsenal. And he takes a lot of punches because of it. And yesterday was no exception. Yesterday was a beating. It was kind of like flashback from what Bakram Mortasaliev did to him. It's kind of like almost the same thing. John Parham, Jay Smith, commentary was fire. It wore his ass. Yo, my brother. I'm still feeling kind of nimble right now, but we good. The hydro grind. Fondora, it's a real problem. Damn, he looks skinny and like a complete nerd, but damn, those punches are brutal. Bro, them long range shots from Fondora, boom, boom, long range, boom. My goodness, yo, Tszyu didn't know what to do with that. He just didn't know. J Max, Zoo need to get in closer. That's easier said than done, my brother. How are you gonna get in closer on a dude that's north of 6 feet tall with a reach advantage that he's punching you in the face from across the ring? So trust me, he was trying, but it ain't easy, my G. The hydro grind. Sue needed to hit the body more. And forget about the head. He wasted a lot of punches and energy trying to get that 6'5" head with a Hail Mary. I mean, listen. He did go to the body though. Remember that right hand that he kept going to the body? Boom. He just couldn't be consistent to the body. Look, the high jaw grind. I want you to keep that in mind for the fight with Bob versus Canelo. This is what I'm telling people. When somebody uses the reach advantage effectively and they're able to keep you at the end of that jab, and then whenever you close the gap, bam, 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 they let their hands go, it's hard to put together a consistent body attack. Why? Because you need to be on the inside to do that. But how do you do it consistently on the inside when every time you close the gap, I'm already like, pop, 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 pop. I'm not letting you do that. If you watch Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo Alvarez, every single time Canelo closed the gap, Bivol hands was in his face. That's what we saw with Fondora and Tszyu. That's what we're going to see with Crawford and Canelo. Angry Mexican. Good morning, Jay Smith. Great day of boxing. My goodness, bro. What a night. What a night, bro. HST 010. Golly. What do you think about Usyk Dubois results? I mean, Usyk, come on now. Usyk did what he had to do. What do you mean? What do you think about the results? You're asking me about the results? What do you think about the results? Gojo Tio, salute. My brother. Bam. The hydro grind. Also felt Tim was standing too tall instead of making himself even smaller. Bend the knees and attack the body. Listen, the thing is that Tszyu has a certain style of fighting. That's how he fights. And you see that he's a very straightforward fighter, kind of like his pops. Tszyu fought just like that. He's identical to his pops. I think the main issue here is that Tszyu, being the much shorter fighter, doesn't possess the footwork to navigate all around what Tim has for him. All around what Fondora has for him. To beat Sebastian Fondora, you have to have one or the other. You have to have real good footwork so where you can move around, get on the inside, pam, 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 and get out. Give him angles. If you got that, you can outbox him. Or you need to be a fighter that's going to stand in there and bang with him and risk getting knocked out. Either you... Look what happened in the fight versus Lubin. Fondora's loss. That's his only loss. He was winning that fight. Boom, he got clipped with a monster shot. Got knocked out. The hydro grind. Also felt... J Max, yeah, he stood there for a little bit. He couldn't sit down. Carlos Perez, dime a ver, ¿qué es lo que? Aquí, manito, tú sabes, talking Tszyu, Sebastian Fondora, Usyk, Ben Rodriguez, Fumelala Kafu, they went to war. My peoples, yesterday was crazy. Crazy, crazy. Angry Mexican, I thought Pacman won 7-5. How did you score it? Well, I wasn't scoring it, but I felt like he edged it out. You know, I wasn't actually scoring it myself, but I felt like Manny Pacquiao edged it out. Although I did say during the live that it was very close. There were some swing rounds that looked like maybe Manny Pacquiao stole it at the end, maybe not. So, you know, I wasn't mad at the decision. I did predict Manny Pacquiao was gonna win. John Parham, I had it 6-6. There you go. Some people had it a draw. They were respecting each other too much, in my opinion. I don't think Manny Pacquiao was respecting him too much. I think Mario Barrios was respecting him too much. Because that was a bit of a slow-paced fight. Barrios' punch output could have been more, I believe. But here we go. We get a rematch. Now Barrio gets a second bag, and so does Manny Pacquiao. John Parham, them punches to the chest was working. Facts. Looking like a praying mantis. Angry Mexican. I thought Pacman had the cleaner power punches. Better combination, and his pressure edged it out for him. I mean, like I said, man, I had Manny Pacquiao edging it out. But it was close enough that I also say it could have gone either way. A draw, I'm cool with it. You know, I don't think Barrios was gifted that draw. West does it. Thanks, John. Angry Mexican. I hate to see Manny come this far to not get it on the cards. Man, wow. You know, this close. This close. You know, he did say after the fight that he only had 2 months to train. And, you know, obviously that wasn't enough, 8 weeks. So he wants the rematch. Let's see. Let's see if they do it again. But I think in the rematch, I may actually go with Barrios. I may. Let's see, because I feel like Barrios was respecting Pacman way too much. John Parham, but we're not getting Floyd if he doesn't win the rematch. We're not getting it. Nah. Look, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather is still a possibility. If Manny Pacquiao loses the rematch, off the table. No chance. Carlos Perez, I should have put a bet on this match on FanDuel. I'll bet on the next fight. I will stay tuned in. You know, I was talking to a few people yesterday in the morning who told me that Manny Pacquiao was going to get knocked out. I'm hoping they didn't show up and stay quiet. You know, there was a couple of people telling me that Manny Pacquiao, you know, at his age, he's not going to be able to have the speed. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see the speed? Where's the person who told me that Manny Pacquiao was going to have no speed and no punch resistance and he was just going to get completely dominated? That was just yesterday. That was just yesterday. So I'll remind you what I said. Manny Pacquiao is not just a 46-year-old fighter. He's someone who does an extremely great job of taking care of his body. He's someone who is always in great shape, who stays in the gym. He's not the average 46-year-old. If you take a 46-year-old from the street, yes, muscle mass is down, he's slow, all kind of things. But when you take an elite level athlete who's an all-time great, that speed is going to show up. That power is going to show up. He couldn't stop Barrios, but look what Barrios said. That Manny Pacquiao got speed. That Manny Pacquiao got power. He was like, yo, he still hit hard.
Yo te quiero.
Venga, dame un abrazo, mi little lido. Venga, dame un abrazo, mi little lido. Oh, lido. I love you.
Papá, tú estás trabajando con esto porque...
Yeah, look, we talking boxing.
¿Y ese?
That's one phone and this is another one. But we talking to this one, look. Right here. Nope, it's over here.
No.
Yeah, but it's this one right here. So yes, my peoples, I digressed. Manny Pacquiao.
Yo voy a venir conmigo.
You gonna watch cartoons? Give me another hug.
Ah,
I love you, Libu. You didn't say I love you.
I love you.
Okay, I'll see you later. Te quiero, mi amor. Carlos Perez, I'll bet against Pacquiao for the rematch. Yeah, I think for the rematch.
Papá.
Mwah. I think for the rematch, Mario Barrios is not going to show as much respect. He's going to let them hands fly and walk out of there with the W. That's how I see it. Canelo killing Crawford. Can't wait. You couldn't wait for Errol to kill Crawford. And what happened? What happened with that when you couldn't wait for Errol to kill Crawford? Tell me more about that. The hydro grind. At the end of the first round, Pac was breathing hard in the corner. And I got scared. But damn, he went all 12 and looked great. Like I said, yesterday, somebody told me that Manny Pacquiao was not going to have the endurance. And I tried to explain to him, bro, 46 years old doesn't mean you can't have endurance. I knew he was going to be physically fit. Stop. John Parham, his legs look like a damn rugby player. J Mags, hey, little man. He's already out of here. John Parham, morning, champ. JJ's in the house. Good morning, J Smith and family. Let's go. I'm here. Hit the like button, everyone, and subscribe. Yeah. Appreciate you, JJ's in that house. My peoples, tell me, give me your thoughts on those fights from yesterday. Bam Rodriguez versus Cafu. If you saw it, tell me what you guys think about, of course, Fondora versus Tszyu. What do you guys think about those two fights? Tszyu, Sebastian Fondora, Bam Rodriguez versus Fumelala Cafu. Come on now. What you guys think about those fights? That, you see, West does it. Gary Russell highlights were great. I'm gonna have to check it out. I actually missed that fight. I saw a couple of clips, but I gotta check it out. I want to see the actual fight. JJ's in the house because he takes very great care of himself. Manny Pacquiao, my peoples, is just somebody I told ya. For those who say, oh, he's gonna be slow and he's gonna get tired real fast and he's not gonna be able to handle it for 12 rounds. Win 12 rounds and then look nothing 46 years old in that ring. The only thing that looked 46 years old was Manny Pacquiao's face. Then everything else looked younger. That hydro grind. I feel Bam a pound for pound great and will be a superstar pretty soon. Look, bro, I'm going to tell you like this. Bam Rodriguez should have been a superstar. He should have been a superstar already. The problem with Bam Rodriguez is that he's not, I feel like he's not. He doesn't engage enough with the fans. That's how I feel. I feel like he has to be more out there. It's almost like when he's not in training camp or in a fight, he disappears and you don't really see much of him. And then when he's fighting, he does his thing. But I don't know. He has to be in front of the camera more, in my opinion. He's accomplished a whole lot at this point. I think he's supposed to be a bigger star than what he is right now. J Max, you're 100% right. Tszyu needs to clinch. Bro, the clinch is like non-existent to him. You never, like he could be getting, look at the fight with Bakram, where he's taking lefts and rights to the head. Boom, boom, that are landing flush. And what is he doing while he's eating punches? Trying to throw punches back. Boom, boom, boom. And did the same thing with Fondora. It's like when he starts getting hit, instead of clinching, he tries to fight back all the time, always. And you can't do that. Sometimes, yeah, you're going to land a big shot and hurt your opponent and turn the tide. But if you always do that, you see what happens. He got pummeled. The hydro grind. Usyk made me super happy with that KO and then disappointed me with that Jake Paul face-off. Damn, man, I was disappointed with that, man. I was disappointed. I haven't even posted anything about it, said anything about it, nothing. You guys know things happen in boxing. I'll make a video, boom, post. I'm disappointed about that, bro. John Parham, the Hydra. You into stocks or something? JJ's in the house. Fondora had a very nice sharp jab that has made the fight for him. Tszyu just didn't know what to do with that jab. He just couldn't get on the inside. That's why somebody said earlier, oh, Tszyu, he should have got more on the inside. That's easier said than done, my peoples. When you have the Tower Inferno unleashing combinations upon thee. Come on now. West does it. Shout out to Manny, holding it down for us dads and unks. Yo, 46 years old, man. And look what he did in that ring. And he said it. He said, yo, I want to inspire people to see that you could do this. It can be done. Come on now. John Parham, I had Usyk in 8, but 5, damn. Yo, Alexander Usyk was just explosive. You saw how he slumped him? Like, he literally slumped Dubois, like, ooh, and then dropped. You know somebody's hurt when they slumped. JJ's in the house. Virgil is the same like Bam. Camera shy, always puts on a good show. That's what I'm saying, man. Bam Rodriguez has to put himself more in front of the camera because he's too accomplished to not be, you know, a bigger star than what he is. John Parham, best believe Manny about to hit the gym double time. Tyrell, Gary Russell and Fondora was my favorite fights. Usyk is a legend, but fight wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I mean, you could say it wasn't as good, but what about the finish, though? Finish with a brutal knockout. The finish makes up for the fight. John Parham, Tyrell, bro, you was everywhere yesterday. The hydro grind. Yes, Parham, stocks is what I do. John Parham, Gary is back. Gary Russell. Gary Russell. I guess maybe he got inspired. He saw Gary Antoine Russell doing his thing. He was like, oh, nah, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to do me too. But Bam Rodriguez, man, and Fumelala Cafu, what a fight. I had never seen Cafu before. He's a world champion. He's undefeated. I knew that he could fight. But Cafu, he showed that he can't. Like, I'm going to tell you guys like this. Bam Rodriguez beat him because obviously we know that Bam is a pound-for-pound fighter. He's a great fighter. But Cafu, if he doesn't have to go through Bam, because remember, Bam, if Bam got all the belts, you got to go through him. If Cafu doesn't have to go through Bam, he's going to become a world champion again. Remember I told you that. Remember that I told you that, my peoples. Remember that I told you that. Because, look, this is when you see what a special fighter Bam Rodriguez is. Fumelala Cafu was there to fight, my peoples. He was counterpunching, landing big shots throughout the fight. And Bam just kept, stuck with the game plan. But Cafu lost, and in that loss, I believe that his stock is up. And if he does not have to face Bam Rodriguez for a belt, he's going to become a champion once again. Fumelala Cafu is for real, my people. But I have to say it. Congratulations to Bam Rodriguez. Still keeps making history, keeps winning, keeps beating champions. Bam Rodriguez, I did say, man, he has to be more out there. Put his face in front of the camera more. I need to see him on the red carpets, on the shows, on the, in the front row, in the fights. I need to see more of Bam, more interviews, more interaction with the fans. Why? Because with the accomplishments that he has up to this point, and only in his mid-20s, he's supposed to be a much bigger star than what he is right now. That's my opinion, of course. But I'll stand on it. Bam Rodriguez needs to be a bigger star. He's too special. Way too special. John Parham, I think Pitbull looked great. Just need a little more power. My boy, it's like I said. Pitbull Cruz, you got to go back down to 135 and stay there. Stay at 135, bro. Go to 135 and stay there. That's it. Tyrell, Pitbull fought good. His opponent made it boring. Yeah, his opponent was, using that footwork, making it defensive. Look, at some point, it felt like his opponent was just trying not to get knocked out. Putting his own good shots here and there, but he was trying not to get knocked out. Tyrell, Gary Russell's opponent was tough, but that body shot dropped him. Come on, man. Gary Russell, that's a veteran right there. The thing is, the only problem with Gary Russell Jr. is that inactivity, man. He's been plagued with inactivity for the last few years. Maybe for the entire second half of his career, he's been inactive. And that's the worst enemy of a fighter. Gary Russell Jr. looked good versus this dude. But he's not ready to come back and face one of the big dogs. Now he needs time. He needs a couple of fights. But the clock is ticking. He's getting older. So, Tyrell, they said Gary was playing with him. I mean, there were times where Homeboy was competitive, but Gary is a special fighter. All I'm saying is that the clock is ticking. Can he become a world champion once again? We're going to see. We're going to see. QT, Tim quit after he had his best round. He's done in America. So, number one, he's definitely not done in America. That was a great fight. So, you're 100% wrong about that, my guy. That was an explosive fight. Action-packed. People want action. Losing doesn't mean you're out of the loop. And I tell you what, he didn't quit. They stopped it. He wanted to keep going, my brother. So that's not the right take. That's not the right take, QT, because the doctor went over there and they talked to him and he didn't want the fight to be stopped. You can even look at the replay. You can see his facial expression like, oh, man, come on, don't do me like that. But They asked him some questions. Maybe he was slurring his speech. Maybe he didn't give the right answer. I don't know what happened. But if they stopped it, they stopped it for a reason. And I felt like it was a right stoppage, man. He was taking a lot of shots to the head. You're talking about he quit. You want him to stand there and get pummeled and be punch drunk down the line? Come on now. J Max, no. It's Mr. Gary Russell. Oh, yeah. Mr. Gary Russell. Ernest Morales, PR in the house. Ooh, Puerto Rico. Oh, Puerto Rico in the building. JJ's in their house. Gary was playing with his food, just trying to get some rounds in. I feel you, my brother. But still, like I said, look, y'all know I don't like to guess. I never guess, you know. Then I have people fact checking me and shit. Watch this, look. Gary Russell Jr. age. How old is Gary Russell Jr., my people? He's 37 years old. I didn't want to make a guess. So if you think about it, Gary Russell Jr. is 37 years old. He's been inactive. How long he's been? He had been inactive for mad long. So this is first fight back. We could say this is a tune-up. But the last time Gary Russell fought was in 2022. Before that fight, that one fight in 2022 where he lost to Mark Magsayo, he fought one fight in 2020. So my peoples, since 2020, Gary Russell has been in the ring twice. Once in 2022 versus Magsayo and once versus Castaneda. Before 2020, he was only in the ring once in 2019 versus Kiko Martinez. Once in the ring in 2018 versus Diaz. Once in the ring versus Escandon in 2017. Once in 2016 versus Highland. Once in 2015. My peoples, 2014 was the last time that Gary Russell fought more than once in a year. Since 2014, well, from 2014 on, every year, he either fought once or didn't fight at all. And then he's missed 2 years out of boxing more than once. So all I'm telling you, if Gary Russell Jr. is 37 years old right now, and he's just stepping back for a tune-up, this is an uphill battle for him. He's coming off of a 2-year layoff. It's an uphill battle at 37. So just like we say that about Pacquiao, don't get it twisted, 37 years old, in the lower division where these guys are fast, strong, yo, it's tough. It's an uphill battle. QT, they said on the broadcast, I was watching, Tim told the doctor he didn't want to continue. I don't know, man. That's not what I saw. But if he did say he didn't want to continue, I still respect that. And my answer stays the same. He's not done in America if he told the doctor he didn't want to continue. And I'm going to tell you what. If that's what he said, I'm going to look for video to see if that's what he actually said. And I'm going to back him. I'm going to support him. And I'm going to talk about that because that's important. Fighters being hurt and wanting to continue when you're already walking into territory where you are putting your life on the line. And the next shot could be the one to wipe you out. So fighters have to understand at one point, like that said, I'm not winning this fight, I'm just getting pummeled out here. Let me call it a day. And fans have to respect that. It's easy to say, oh, he's scared. Oh, well, you've never been punched in the face. You're not out there getting pummeled. We have to change that culture of laughing at a fighter if he quits. Nah. They the ones getting beat up. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, do you think Robert Garcia has to get Virgil and Bam out in the public more? Is that the promoter's job or both? I mean, you have to understand, boxing is a business, right? And because it's a business, at the end of the day, we're all making money off of it. Now, Bam Rodriguez and Virgil, they are the business. They are not the business, but they are a business themselves. They're a brand. So the more they go up, the bigger their brand gets, the more money Robert Garcia and everybody else in the team is gonna make. So it's to everybody's benefit to help promote them. But it's not their job. You know, Robert Garcia is a trainer. He's not a promoter. He's not a manager. I don't know if he's a manager. So if he's just the trainer, he's the guy that's gonna prepare you for the fight. It's really not his job to be promoting you, putting you out there. But it is beneficial to him. You know, if he's in interviews and he mentions Bam, it's beneficial because, again, the more money Bam makes, the more money he's going to make too. But I think Bam has to just be more open, more out there. The same way with Virgil Ortiz. J Max, I don't think he did, but he was taking some shots. I mean, I was watching, and to me, what it looked like is that the doctor was looking at him and asked him if he was okay, or asked him a question about the ring or where he was. I don't know. And, like, I don't know if maybe his speech was slurry. I don't know. But whatever happened, I think we're going to end up finding out. I still say it's a good stoppage. For sure. Bubble butt stepmoms. Pac-Man pulled an amazing performance. Crazy moments. Everybody thought Pac-Man was going to be too old. He was going to be too slow. He wasn't going to be ready for the action. And what happened? He went 12 rounds. And I felt like Manny Pacquiao edged it out. I'm being honest with you, my peoples. I honestly felt like Manny Pacquiao could have been declared the winner of that fight. But it happens. Once in a while, that is going to happen. Bubble butt. Usyk got that like a G. My peoples. Alexander Usyk. And by the way, yesterday I predicted that he was going to win because I said, look, Usyk is one of the greatest heavyweights. You know, the greatest heavyweight of this era is Usyk. There's just no getting around that. I said, I'm going for him to win it. But I'm giving Daniel Dubois a shot simply because of what happened in the first fight, how he was able to drop him with that punch. That was ruled a low blow, but it wasn't. So I feel like, yo, Dubois is going to be confident that he can do that again, that he can hurt him. And Usyk showed out. We saw Alexander Usyk showed us why he's a pound-for-pound fighter and the #1 in the world in a lot of people's lists. We saw it right there. We saw it right there, my people. That's why a lot of folks see him as the guy. And I'm just going to remind you, Alexander Usyk himself considers Terence Crawford the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate. You imagine that? So what a performance from Alexander Usyk. Stops Daniel Dubois in the 5th round with a brutal shot, slumped him. And you see a lot of people consider Usyk the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Yet, Usyk himself considers Terence Bud Crawford as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in the galaxy, in the universe. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate. Bud Crawford is going to whoop Canelo Alvarez. I just had to let it out, let you know. Had to do it. My goodness. So I will say again, my peoples. Alexander Usyk put together a masterful performance versus Daniel Dubois. Stopped him in the 5th round with a brutal shot that slumped Dubois. Slumped him. In the 5th round, stopping him after people were saying, well, I even said it myself that Dubois had a shot. But he caught a shot and got stopped. Alexander Usyk, most people, or not, I'm not going to say most, but a lot of people see Usyk as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But guess what? Alexander Usyk himself considers Terrence Bud Crawford. Interrupt my shit. Alexander Usyk himself considers Terrence Bud Crawford to be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. What does that tell you? When Alexander Usyk tell you that Bud is the #1 fighter in the world, in the universe, in the Milky Way galaxy, let that sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate. Crawford is going to put the brakes on Canelo Alvarez. I just had to let that out my system. My bad, y'all. Just telling the truth. John Parham, heavyweight division, ass though. But there's some fighters coming up. Some young guns coming up. QT, Crawford will change that soon. That didn't make a big deal, but that win was 3 times undisputed for Usyk. Nah, listen. I expect Usyk to be #1 pound for pound in the world in most pound for pound lists right now. Which, by the way, even before this fight, a lot of people had him at #1 before this fight. So obviously, he's going to be the #1 guy. Crawford is going to change that on September 13th. JJ's in the house. Jay Smith, don't know if you see my text about Fondora going to Harvard. I did not see it. Sebastian Fondora is going to Harvard University? Is that so? Whoa. John Parham, Usyk is him. You ain't never lied, my boy. You ain't never lied. Ernest Morales, Tim will be back in Australia, getting ready to return to the U.S. Look, man, after a loss like this one, if I was Tim Tszyu, I would take at least 6 months just to rest, just to chill. 6 months. During the first 3 months, do nothing. Just hang out, eat pizza, eat good. And then after 3 months, go to the gym just to cut down and weight a little bit, get a little bit in better shape. And after 6 months, start exploring fight options. And I say take a break just because Tim Tszyu took a lot of big shots, my people. And you got to remember, the fight before the last, he took a nasty beating to Bakram Mortasaliev. So I think he needs to take some time off. I would even take a whole year. I would even take a whole year if I was Tim. And then come back to an easy tune-up. John Parham, never fight a dude with 2 different color shoes. Jose Chavez, Tim needs to fight Keith Thurman. Damn, bro, but you watch it, you just seen Tim Tszyu get battered, bro. He needs to take some time off and come back to an easy fight. Keith Thurman, right now, I believe if he was to fight Keith Thurman next, Keith Thurman will put it on him. Come on, we saw Keith Thurman be the opposite in his comeback fight. Look sharp, look fast, look strong. Got a brutal stoppage. So nah, right now, this is Keith Thurman, and this is Tim Tszyu. They not in the same space right now. So I don't think that would be a good idea. But I will say, my peoples, if you did not have the opportunity to tune in yesterday, you have to check it out. Go check out the live from yesterday. I did 2 separate lives. Because I did one live specifically for Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. But I did one live where I covered Sebastian Fondora versus Tim Tszyu and Bam Rodriguez versus Fuminala Kafu. I did the commentary for both of those fights at the same time. I don't know if that's ever been done before. I've never seen it. Never seen somebody doing, commentary for 2 fights simultaneously, and then both fights are just 2 epic battles. So, yo, check out that video, my peoples, and I'ma ask you If you see that video and you think that you're watching something that we never seen before, yo, I want you guys to share it. Cause I think that I may be onto something. I don't know if it's been done, man. Not not like that. Especially two fights, the way those two played out. Wow. Wow. JJ said the house. One of Fondora is going to Harvard to start a 6-year engineering career, engineering degree. Whoa, that's fire. That's awesome. Whoa. Salute to Fondora going to Harvard. Whoa. That's it. Setting themselves up to quit boxing. You got a lot of money. You got millions of dollars. That's it. Quit whenever you want, and follow your dreams. Follow your career. That's it. He made money in boxing that he can pay the whole career in Harvard. Boom, at once, and just focus on that. John Parham. Jose, you seen Keith yesterday speaking on the fighters. He was trying to fight some smoke. Jose Chavez, Fondora needs to unify with the Russian ASAP. Listen, man, Sebastian Fondora is going to have some options. You got to remember, he's the guy. He's the unified champion. Let's see. Oh, no, wait a minute. Didn't he drop a title? He dropped the title. He dropped the title to avoid fighting somebody. I can't remember who it was right now. Y'all can remind me. Unlaced. Yerp. Bam. What's the deal, my G? What a night of boxing. What a night of boxing. John Parham, how much did Fondora weigh? Honestly, I'm not sure for fight night. If somebody could Google that, chat. But, listen, I just think that reach, there was nothing that Tszyu could do. He just didn't have... Tszyu doesn't have the skill set to avoid range from a guy who's going to put hands on him. If you watch Bakram Murtasaliev and the way that he beat Tszyu, it was very similar to the way that Fondora beat him. That's all I'm going to say. It was the outcome, the way that it played out, very similar fashion. But all I'm going to say is that yesterday, Alexander Usyk made history. He became undisputed once again. So now, 3-time undisputed. That's Usyk. Bam Rodriguez. Put together, went to war. That was a barn burner versus Fumalala Kafu. What a fight. Bam Rodriguez showed out. Tszyu. Matter of fact, hold on. Because I'm going to give you the recap real quick. I'm going to just give you the recap. Let's do the recap, my peoples. Hold on one second. Do this recap for y'all. Let me do this recap for y'all. So, my peoples, like we were saying before, yesterday was a great night of boxing. And actually, even a great day of boxing, because Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois, if you're in the U.S., if you're on the East Coast, if you're in certain parts of the world, that fight took place in the daytime. And it only went 5 rounds before... Wait a minute. Hold on one second, my peoples. JJ's in the house. Fondora was 154 last night. I don't think he weighed 54 for the fight. I don't think so, JJ. I know he made weight, but I think last night he might have been a little bit heavier. Jose Chavez, Fondora versus Shiraz. That fight won't happen, my brother. Shiraz fights at 160. Fondora 154. So my peoples, I digressed. Let me give you guys the recap from yesterday. It was a great night of boxing. Actually, a great day. Why? Because Daniel Dubois and Alexander Usyk, they met in the daytime. If you live in the U.S., in the East Coast, in certain countries, that fight took place under the sun. Let me tell you what. It only went 5 rounds. Alexander Usyk with a devastating knockout on Daniel Dubois. Slumped him. Throughout the 5 rounds, it wasn't that as action-packed as the first one, but You could see that Usyk was winning. He was using, his technicality, using that jab, using that footwork, giving angles, just doing what he does. Ultimately, stopped Dubois in the 5th round with a devastating shot. Like, slumped him. Like, it's not a figure of speech. Literally slumped Dubois like this. So there you have it. Alexander Usyk makes history once again by becoming undisputed for a 3rd time as a heavyweight champion of the world. Alexander Usyk is a pound-for-pound fighter, a great fighter, and he's going down as an all-time great as well. Let's move on to the next one, my peoples. Bam Rodriguez and Fume Lalakafu. What? Did you see that fight? First of all, from the first bell, you saw Bam Rodriguez closing the gap and letting his hands fly. But guess what? Fume Lalakafu wasn't playing around. He was fighting back. He was counterpunching. He was landing big shots on Bam Rodriguez. So even though Bam was winning the rounds, Fume Lalakafu was right there with him, competitive in every single round, landing big shots. But guess what? At the end of the day, Bam Rodriguez, his style, his slickness, his angles, his disgusting, brutal body punching, all of those things combined, and eventually Bam landed a nasty hook to Fume Lalakafu. I believe it was in the 9th round. And he just wobbled, staggered, and then Bam unleashed the combinations, letting his hands fly. Boom, 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 boom. The referee had to step in. Bam Rodriguez stopped Fume Lalakafu, showed us that he's a special fighter. On to the next one. Congratulations to Bam Rodriguez. Bam! Still making history. Young boy. Mid-20s, accomplishing like crazy. On to the next one. Tszyu versus Sebastian Fondora. My peoples. What a showdown. In the first round, Sebastian Fondora dropped Tszyu with a monster shot. I was like, there's no way Timmy's going to make it out of this round. A whole minute to go. Timmy kept fighting back, landing his own big shots while he was wobbly. Boom, boom. He was landing some big ones too. And he made it through the round. And he just kept fighting back. Fondora kept imposing that height, that reach, bam, bam, that uppercuts. Listen, I was looking, where is the rocket launcher? I was looking for a rocket launcher because Fondora was unleashing heat-seeking missiles yesterday night upon Tszyu. That's how I saw it. And eventually, it broke him down. After the end of the 7th round, Timmy went to the corner, broken down, battered, bewildered, confused, pummeled. And I don't know what happened. The doctor went over there. The referee went over there. Some people are saying Timmy quit. Some people are saying no, the doctor suggested the fight be stopped. But it was stopped. I'm going to tell you right now, whether or not Timmy quit, I don't care. He took a lot of punishment. And I felt like, yeah, it's a good stoppage, regardless of why it got stopped. Sebastian Fondora's showed us the elite level fighter that he is. Salute and congratulations to Sebastian Fondora. Another successful title defense. Let's move on to the main event. Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios. So many people said that Manny Pacquiao was going to be too slow, that he was not going to be able to handle 12 rounds at 46 years old. And guess what? Manny Pacquiao proved everybody wrong. Pac-Man was out there looking fast, looking sharp, at times outworking Mario Barrios. Turned back the hands of time. We did not see a 46-year-old man in the ring with Mario Barrios. And listen, to be honest with you, the fight went the distance. It was a competitive fight. I had Manny Pacquiao edging out of victory. I thought he won the fight. But, to be fair, it was very close. There were some swing rounds that I felt like Manny Pacquiao stole it at the end, and maybe the judges didn't see it that way. So I respect the decision. Even at the end of the fight, I said, you know what? This thing could go either way. There's some swing rounds here and there. A draw, fair enough. We might get a rematch. Manny Pacquiao said, I only trained for 2 months. I want a rematch. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If Manny Pacquiao is able to win the rematch, Floyd Mayweather is going to come out of retirement and try to take that title from Manny Pacquiao. We'll get a rematch between them two. That's how I see it playing out. But my peoples, yesterday was an amazing night of boxing. I had the opportunity, the honor of calling all of these fights. I have fun. I know you guys enjoyed it as well. There you have it, my peoples. This is Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith. Y'all already know it, man. Stay tuned in. We bringing you this serious boxing content. And my peoples, if you haven't seen the first episode of Punchlines, you don't know what you're missing out. The first episode is out, my people. Go check it out. Punchlines is going to be on every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Jay Smith, Mr. KO. Yo, you got to tune in. You got to tune in. Listen, the first episode is 13 minutes long. Tune in for 2 minutes. If you tune in for 2 minutes, I guarantee you'll be hooked and you'll want to keep watching. Give me a second, my people. Let me grab something real quick. ¿Qué es esto, amor?
Maicena.
Ok. JJ's in the house. I wanted Manny to win, but I thought Barrios won. It's like I said, man, it depends how you saw it, because there were rounds that it looked like Barrios was outworking him, but then towards the end, he started, slowing down, and Manny Pacquiao started landing some good shots. And it's like, damn, who am I scoring this round for? So I'm pretty sure that there were rounds that I saw it for Pacquiao and you saw it for Barrios for that reason. It could have went either way. It was close. It was a good fight. But my peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this Sunday morning. Like, that was crazy, man. I went to sleep like at 3 in the morning, editing a video, which I'm about to post so that you can see it. Wow. I can't believe that I called 2 fights at the same time, man. Check out the video that I'm about to post, my peoples. If you think that, there's something different about calling these 2 fights at once, historic fights, repost that video for me, my peoples. Let's repost that video. People deserve to see it. Y'all already know what it is. I'm out of here. This is Boxing for Breakfast. I'm Jay Smith. Yo, salute to everybody. Peace. One love. Man. See you guys tomorrow morning on Boxing for Breakfast.